What's up guys, Phoenix here. This video is going to be another Ritual Beast combo demonstration video, or I guess I should say Gym Ritual Beast combo demonstration video, as that's what I've been calling the deck, as well as other people have been calling the deck. And as I said in the previous combo demonstration video that went up yesterday, I was looking to do a few more of these videos simply because the lines of play that this deck provides are very unlike the norm that people have usually ever explored utilizing Ritual Beasts. There are a lot of different combo like structurings that you can have and perform that are very unorthodox and very, very unlike what Ritual Beasts have done in the past. But anyway, this combo is going to be a little bit simpler. It is going to be a 2-card combo rather than 3, and it is going to be utilizing Brilliant Fusion and Ritual Beast Tamer Zeph from Pilica. Now this could be Laura, it could be Terraforming, or it could be Oracle of Zephyra. The reason I'm using this card specifically is because there are 5 copies of this card when you need it. There's only 1 copy of Laura, but there are 6 copies total of Ritual Beast Tamers that get a Ritual Beast monster back from your graveyard, and that is what you are going to be utilizing in this combo. Now obviously it's going to be utilizing Brilliant Fusion as sort of a pseudo Foolish Burial, but there's just more copies of it, and it overall gives you more card advantage in terms of what you're going to be activating. So you obviously start this combo out by activating Brilliant Fusion. This time you're going to be going into Prismora, making its attack and defense 0, and you are going to be sending Gymnite Amber as well as Spiritual Beast Conahawk to the graveyard, because Conahawk meets the Thunder requirement for Prismora. It's a very nifty interaction, it's very neat, and it's very unorthodox in terms of what you would expect to be doing. But in this combo you're going to end up using an Ulti Conahawk search twice, and you're going to end up with a live Steeds and Ambush, and that is ultimately what you're going to be wanting to do in all of your turn 1 scenarios. So you'll normal summon whatever one you had to get one back, either Laura or Pilica, and you'll get back your Spiritual Beast Conahawk, and you will use its effect to banish a Rampengu at this point, because you've already special summoned Conahawk once, and Rampengu is the next best one to fuel your banished pile and continue getting searches. So you'll banish these to summon your first Ulti Conahawk, and you're obviously have 3 in the banished pile at this point, and this one can't be special summoned. So this is going to go to the grave, and these 2 are going to be special summoned for you to tag out Conahawk and get your search for Steeds or Ambush. Now obviously your playline can change if in your other 3 to 4 cards in hand you had a Steeds or Ambush already, or if you had like Brain Research Lab, obviously you could get a search for something else. There's so many different very subjective playlines that you can go down utilizing these. Like if you had Oracle of Zephyra, and that's what you used to get the Pilica, then you could obviously at this point you could search like another Tamer, and then when you go into your next Spiritual Beast play, or into your next Ulti Conahawk play, you could special summon it out of your hand because you're fusing with Zephyr and Pilica. There are a lot of very, very subjective things you can do. These definitely aren't meant to be the 100% be-all, end-all solutions to these 2-card combos. These are just meant to be generalizations of what I've been doing with these 2-card combos, 2- and 3-card combos, and just basically giving you guys a starting point of what you should be looking to structure your plays like. It may not be the most optimal that you can do, especially given off what the rest of your hand is. As I've already said for like the upteenth time, it is extremely subjective. This deck is extremely subjective to whatever your cards that you have access to are, and you need to remember that. But anyway, rant over. You're going to use Rampengu's effect at this point, and you're going to banish an Ulti Gaia Pelio because you want to get another Ritual Beast Tamer into circulation. And at this point, if you've already used Pilica, then I typically find myself sending Win if I don't have it in my hand already. But if I used Laura, I find myself sending Elder. I don't know why. It's just a very general thing that I've been finding myself doing. I just know that if I haven't used Oracle of Zephyr yet, then I definitely you want to keep the other Pilica in the deck. And Win is honestly the least likely one to be useful, as well as Elder at this point in time. But honestly, if you had the Pilica first, I just send the Laura because like you don't want additional copies of cards that do the same things in your hand, and Win would be more beneficial at that point in time. So it's extremely subjective. Just more things to prove my point of how subjective all this is. It is extremely, extremely relative to like what you're trying to do and what you're trying to mold it into being to match the rest of your hand. But at this point, you'll banish these, and you'll make your second Ulti Conahawk summon happen. And now you're at a point where you're going to have to send cards to the graveyard. And so what I usually end up doing is I usually end up sending Rampengu and Ulti Gaia Pelio to grave. And the reason why I do this is because I don't want to be tempted to summon Zeph from Pilica off of ambush and have it die, because if it dies it'll go to your extra deck, and that'll cut you off from that name until you can get to your additional Pilica. So I leave this here because I literally only want to be summoning it on my next turn. So I just leave it there so that I don't mess up. But anyway, so you do those and you go into ambush. Now unfortunately with this combo, based off what the rest of your hand was, if you're just utilizing the 2 cards that I showed you, you're not able to tag this out on your opponent's turn, because you obviously only have 1 banished, but you have a Steeds and you have an ambush, so you can Steeds them for up to 3 cards, and you can ambush for Conahawk and Laura at the start of your next turn, or at the end of your opponent's turn. So you definitely have things that keep you in a very healthy position, especially considering what other traps you might have drawn in this build. Obviously Vanity, Fiendish, Warning, any of those cards, any additional copies of Steeds as well. It's very, very, as I've already said before, subjective, especially when you start getting into these like smaller combos. They're 2-card combos, but I mean, considering the fact that you start with 2 cards and you now technically have 5, and especially if you have an additional copy of Brilliant Fusion, or if you had the Gymnite Lazuli in hand, you can utilize those to allow Prison Mora to pop cards on your opponent's field during the next turn, or even during the first turn if you were going second. You obviously has to be the Lazuli at that point, because then Lazuli or Amber will get discarded for the Prison Mora. Do things like that. Prison Mora is definitely really cool for this deck in that it does a function that you need it to do, utilizing Brilliant Fusion as a Foolish to send Conahawk, but then utilizing its actual effect gets dead Gymnites out of your hand. And it does it in a very efficient way, in the form of, like, say you drew Lazuli, you can Brilliant Fusion for Prison Mora, sending these 2 to grave, and then you can discard the Lazuli for its effect to pop a card, and then Amber will come back to your hand, meaning that this can pop another card for free on your opponent's turn. It's very efficient in terms of card advantage at that point. Unfortunately, it can only pop face-up cards, but I mean, face-up cards are usually what the problems are, being like Royal Decree and things like that. Just something to consider. But this was just a very simple 2-card combo, and it did what I wanted to just describe, is that like Brilliant Fusion allows for an additional boost for this deck to have it gain card advantage. Now unfortunately, the only unfortunate thing about this combo is the fact that you can't tag this out on your opponent's turn, because there's obviously just 1 here. But you can fix that if you have like a Pelio in circulation already and stuff like that. There are multiple different ways and different routes that you can go down. This is just a very generalized route to give you guys a very basic understanding of what you should be starting with and trying to achieve. I don't claim that it's the most optimal in any sense of the imagination, because like I don't know what the other 3 cards in my hand would have been. There's no way for me to tell if it's the most optimal way to do this or not. But that is just me personally. As far as this goes, this is a raw +3 in terms of card advantage, and it's got you a Steeds and an Ambush, which both of those cards yield further pluses. It's a very solid opening. It's definitely not the most powerful, but it's very solid, and that's what I wanted to demonstrate for you guys. But anyway, rambling over. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe, like the video if you like the content I've been producing and want to support my channel's growth now as well as in the future. Links are in the description to both my Facebook pages. Go to the appropriate link and do the appropriate action with either. If you're looking to talk with me and get general discussion, that's going to be your most likely place to do so. Tell me how you like these combo videos in the comments down below. If you're wanting to play me on Dueling Network, send me a message when you see me online on DN. Do not ask me to play me through my Facebook. I am not going to seek you out. I have so many people that have been messaging me through Facebook saying that they want me to play them, and they give me a DN username. I am not going to actively seek you out. I've got way too many people that are trying to play me for me to actually seek those people out. I'm making that as clear as I can right now. But, as always, guys, thanks for watching. As I've already said, click an ad if you have not. I'd greatly appreciate it. It helps me make money, and there's no reason to lie to you guys about that. But as usual, I would not be offended or take it personally if you decide not to do so. Just know that it helps me out immensely if you decide to do so, and it will be greatly appreciated, more than you could ever know. And that is going to be all for this video. As always, guys, take care.